Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Aligned Heart. This is Misty Springer, and I'm excited to be here with you all. This is my reflections on 2025 and moving into 2026 in a different kind of energy this year. Really excited about this episode because this is a conversation that continues to pop up in my sphere. And I believe that the shift that I'm experiencing is not just mine. I believe that there are many of you out there that are experiencing this same shift. And to have a conversation around it and to put some context and meaning around it can be helpful as you move into this new year in a different kind of energy. And what I know to be true is that your energy, our energy is our greatest asset, and who we become, who we are being, is powerful in shaping what our results are and what we create. And that far more powerful than any plan or action step guide is who we are being. That when we step into the energy of what we want to create, we start to create from the energy of flow and ease. And I hope that that's the feeling that you get, and that door of possibility starts to crack open a little bit for you as you listen to this episode. So this is the year of B, beginning 2026 from presence, not pressure. And typically in the past, I have always been very much a goal setter. I have always been, my husband calls me opportunistic. I have a lot of ambition and the idea of a new year and goals and setting benchmarks to hit feels very exciting. I have run marathons and I have been successful in other areas of my life using this template of create a goal, set a plan, and through hard work, grit, and determination, go do it. And that served me for a lot of years until it didn't anymore. And I started to feel burned out. I started to feel that the hustle didn't feel exciting anymore. It felt overwhelming. It felt tiring. And it felt like it was in this constant state of doing and never really resting in the receiving and the enjoying and the moment. And it felt like I was on this hamster wheel running as fast as I can, but going nowhere. And that there are several areas of my life that started to show up more profoundly. One was in my business and feeling like I was just in this energy of hustle, 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 trying to make things happen. And I believe God was trying to show me that there was another way, that there was a way to create from flow and ease and intentionality and purpose. And I have continued to deepen into that knowing over the last several years. And it has been a beautiful space of creation that feels very different than the hustle and the grind and the push and the goal setting of years past. And I'm not saying that having a goal or an intention or a very clear destination is not important. It absolutely is. It's simply the energy that I'm using to get there that feels different. And that's what 2026, that's what feels different about starting 2026. I feel like I'm in this energy of just sliding into the new year, that it feels like just stepping back and stepping into a warm bath. I remember when my kids were young that there were times when I had to consciously choose to stop. There was an intention to stepping away from the chaos and the hustle and the bustle and the kids, screaming and needing my attention, and shutting the door and sliding into the warmth and the reprieve of that bubble bath. And even if the chaos was happening outside, even if the kids were literally pounding on the door, it was a choice to pause, to be still, and to rest. And that choice only came because I knew that I would be a better mom. I would be a better version of myself if I took that time to just be. And that's what 2026 feels like for me. It's a time to step away. It's a time to stop the rushing and the doing and the striving, and to just rest in who I am, and really be intentional about how I'm showing up. And what's been really fascinating is that I've been in conversations with probably 5 or 6 other women who feel the exact same way. One was like a random checkout, the lady who was checking out my groceries at Trader Joe's. I was in the line just chatting with her about what her commute looked like to Trader Joe's, and she had a 35-minute commute, and uh, was talking about how much she thoroughly enjoyed the silence of her commute, and that she had recently given up her cell phone. She had gone and gone to the store and just gotten a basic phone that only texts and calls. And she did that for a very intentional purpose. And she said, you know what? My word for the year is silence. And I thought that that was so powerful, because I said, oh, that's interesting, because my word for the year is be, like just be. And so that got me thinking, like, if this random stranger that I met is also feeling this call to step away from the hustle and the bustle and the doing and the being and the striving, are there others out there also that are wanting this as well? And so as I opened up conversations with other women, my clients, friends, there has been this very common theme of stepping away and choosing, intentionally choosing peace, intentionally choosing a different energy of creation. And so I wanted to look at this from the perspective of, why is it important, and is it possible? Does it feel unavailable to you to stop, to slow down? And why would I even want to? Right? And why does it even matter? So peace does not require perfect conditions. It simply requires a decision. I want to repeat that, because I think that that's very profound. There was a conversation that I had with a client today around this very same principle. Peace doesn't require perfect conditions. It requires a decision. And the conversation that I had with a client was that uh, peace, you can have peace without resolution. Sometimes we feel like peace has to come because there's been a resolution to a problem. Um, my my I have a job, right? My unemployment is over, or my child is no longer sick, or my relationship feels connected, or my business is growing. I've signed a client. That sometimes we feel like there has to be resolution in order to access peace. And what is true is that that peace, when you're looking and waiting for a resolution, that peace is temporary, and it's fleeting, and it's totally independent of you. There's a little bit that you can do to control that, but most of the time you cannot control anybody else but yourself. And so peace is finding the thoughts and the the beliefs that allow you to feel peace without resolution. And some of the powerful thoughts that my client had today that I think are powerful thoughts that I can share with you is that she recognized that I am not my weaknesses, that my weaknesses don't define me. And when I see that my weaknesses don't define me, I allow others to have weaknesses, that I allow grace for others to have their own weaknesses. And I get to remember and choose to see myself as who I am at my core. That's the really key point that I think is so critical here. I think that's the critical point as to why this year of just be feels important to me now. That when I get still, when I pause, when I stop trying to be something more, do something more, look for success, find something more, compare myself to others and their success, that I just get to be and remember who I truly am and remember how God sees me. So yes, peace doesn't require perfect conditions. It just requires a decision. It's deciding to pause. It's deciding to look inside of myself instead of outside of myself for the worth and the identity that I find when I just get still. A client that I spoke with today, she was talking about how she had built all this fluff around her, good things, serving other people, really trying to create big experiences for her family. But in all the fluff, underneath it was just a feeling of, I need to earn my worthiness. I need to build up all this. I need to put up all this fluff and this tinsel and these big grand plans around me because that feels like I'm okay. But when you take all of that away, what you find is the actual truth. There's an analogy of a diamond that's covered in dirt. And sometimes we try to paint all the dirt to make it look sparkly. And we try to put layers and coats of paint, and we work really hard to make it look really bright and sparkly with all of this nail polish all over the dirt. When in reality, all we need to do is sit still and allow the dirt to fall off when we find what's underneath, which is that beautiful sparkly diamond that's been there all along. So what gets in the way? Why are we not able to just pause and stop and be still? Why can't we just rest in this knowing of how God sees us and let that be enough? I believe that there are three things that get in the way: control, guilt, and shoulds. So guilt is a big reason. When I talk about, taking that time out to be in the tub, one of the things that would often get in the way was guilt. Like, I can't leave my family. I should be taking care of them. I should be doing more. A fear of letting go of control. That if I let go, if I let my vice grip go on all the things that I'm doing, that everything is going to fall apart around me, and that feels really scary. Or that it's selfish and I should be here. I should be doing more. All of these are things that you can just be aware of that might be getting in the way. But when you really pause, and this is the interesting fact, when I have the conversation with my clients, every single client that I talk to, without fail, when we get still, there is an absolute inherent knowing that who they are at their core is enough. That there is nothing more that they need to do or be, that they can trust in the knowing of who they are. Really powerful. So sometimes we can find old patterns that continue to repeat, and those old patterns can be something that serves us or have served us in the past. Those old patterns can feel like constant doing, constant rushing, constant moving, trying to create something more, something bigger. Um, just be aware when you're in that energy. That energy feels like striving, it feels like doing, it feels like moving. And allow yourself to maybe look with curiosity at something different, that perhaps there is another way. So the shift is from doing to being. When I think about what that shift did for me, I was reflecting on this. I sent an email out. I wrote this recently, and I want to just read this here. Um, in the constant quest to become more, I somehow lost sight of who I already am. The gifts that are right here, the blessings of today, the miracles that are happening in this moment. It is in the peace and presence of this moment that I sense I will find what I have been searching for all along. A deep knowing that who I am at my core is more than enough, that my identity is found in who I am being, not what I am doing, that joy is found in this moment, not when I have fill in the blank. Because when I give myself this gift of reprieve, everyone gets the best of me, including me. I find who I truly am and see myself as God sees me when I let go of the hustle and the striving. So stillness reveals truth. I like to talk about it as the first voice. That first voice, the truth of who we are, is quiet, it's still, it's subtle, but it's there. I am amazed when I get still, when I rest, when I just take time out to be with God without having to do more. I recognize and remember the truth of who I am. It's not about being, or excuse me, about doing more. It's just about being and remembering who I am. It's not a quest to find myself. It's a remembering of who I already am. So that's why I have landed this year on my word of the year being be, just be. There is a deep relaxation around that word. There's a feeling of peace. When I let go of the striving, when I let go of the quest to be more, I get to live in the magic and the miracle of right now. I get to see what unfolds as I let go of control and God takes the reins. I get to be just me without pretense, without comparison, without striving. And that feels really freeing. It feels like there is an energy that opens up for me to create more of what I want, but from a very different place. One of my clients shared with me today that she also had been putting a lot of energy into something that was no longer serving her. And that there is this law of thermal dynamics. And that law is that energy is never destroyed. Energy can't be destroyed. So if you feel like you don't have the energy, if you feel like your energy is being depleted, it's an opportunity and an invitation to look at where your energy is being directed that is no longer serving you. It's not, if it's not put in the direction of what you want, it's going towards something that may be sucking you dry. So as you think about the places that you feel overwhelmed, that you feel like your energy is being depleted, ask yourself the question, where is my energy going that is no longer serving me? And where can I put my energy that is serving me? And I know for me, that's in intentionality this year, that's in purpose, that's in presence. And so one of the things that I am offering this year is a Beyond the Vision Board workshop. And this is my favorite workshop of the year. I love this time. It is just a space to create the energy of what you want. So many vision boards are created from the mind. This experience begins in the body and listens to the heart. It's an intentional online gathering, and you'll explore what you're ready to release, what wants to grow, and how to move forward with grounded clarity in 2026. So, we're going to walk through gratitude practices for what you created in 2025, really awaken to the energy of what you want to create in 2026, and step into that energy, because when you step into the energy of what you want, you create an energetic map that is an energetic pull towards what you want. It's what allows you to step into flow and ease and create from a very different place. It's what allows you to just let go and be and trust the unfolding and the miracle, to live in gratitude and presence and being in 2026. So I invite you to join with me. It's January 30th, 9 to noon Pacific Standard Time, and that's going to be an online experience that you can join from Zoom. So you can be in your own space, your own comfy space, and join in for an online retreat looking at what you want to create for 2026. What is the energy you want to move from, and cultivating that energy, breath work, meditation, uh, intention, creating a word of the year. You're going to walk away with a clear, energetic path toward what you want and a clear picture of what you want in 2026. And more importantly, who you are being in 2026 that's going to take you in the direction you want to go. So I invite you into that with me. I'll post that in the show notes. Can't wait to have you there and join in with you. Thank you for being here today on Aligned Heart, as always. Love to have you here. And I will have a meditation that accompanies this podcast that is all about grounding into the intention of purposeful, aligned action. So join me in the meditation that accompanies this podcast, and we'll see you next time. Thanks all.